Hello, and welcome to another episode of Luna the Druid. But tonight, can you look at your echo cancellation under your sound settings?
Mm-hmm. It's on.
You have it on?
It's on.
Let me see. Yeah, it's gone. Oh no, it's not gone. Maybe turn your sound a little bit lower if you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if we have. Okay. I hear myself back through your speakers probably. Okay, now is it better now?
I can't hear you. Sorry.
You hear me? You hear me double?
Yeah, no, I can hear you single.
You hear me single?
Yeah.
Okay, weird. What can I do? Well, maybe if someone in the comments can also see, can you comment if you hear me twice? I hear myself twice actually. So I turn my speakers off, or the sound completely down. Hello, Marjorie.
Hello, Marjorie.
So, yeah, no, it's good, but I don't hear myself, and I don't hear you. Check. Don't hear you. Okay, Marjorie says it's okay, so that should. Okay, welcome to Clair and the Druid tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me.
Claire is a good friend of mine. We knew each other from TABI, the Tarot Association, which is a member.
Jan, I've lost your sound. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm keep on hearing myself twice. Let me see if I can fix that. I'll just log off for a while. Hang on.
Okay. So, hello, everybody. Jan invited me today to come and talk. So, hopefully, technical difficulties will disappear and everything will be okay.
It's solved. I found the cause of it. So there we are. Good news.
Take two.
And so we know each other from the Tarot Association, where we where we have these special classes, where we have these special evenings. And I know you visit the Tarot de Marseille class, you visit the Thoth class group, probably also the Qabalah. You do them all.
Yeah.
I'm the host of the Thoth, so I'm there all the time. Occasionally, I'm also doing the Marseille because I work with the Marseille deck. You work a lot. It's your primary deck, isn't it, Claire? The Marseille.
It is my primary, yes. But Thoth has become a very big second love.
Second love, okay.
Second love.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah. And how did you become a tarot reader, actually? Tell me a bit about yourself.
Yeah, so approximately 24 years ago, my husband bought me my first deck. Not because you have to be gifted your first deck, but he saw it and he was like, would you like this? And we worked on a holiday camp and it became a thing where I did readings for people. So I had no idea what I was doing, but I just found so much enjoyment from taking the deck, reading for people. It used to be past, present, future, and it was a wonderful experience.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, so that's lovely. And you started with a Marseille deck, or did you start with
Marseille.
another deck?
It
Marseille
was
was just your
yeah.
first love. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If I look at my own story, I started probably the same time as you, early 2000s, and I started with the usual, with the regular tarot, Rider-Waite-Smith, and I had a very hard time getting to grips with it. The imagery was way too busy, way too crowded with stories and stuff, and leaving no room for inspiration. And then a couple of years later, I found the Thoth Tarot, and like the Marseille Tarot, it contains of the major arcana, which are nearly the same, but also what I really love about our two systems, that they have pip cards, or are cards that are not necessarily very figurative. There's no picture there. There is no scene. The normal standard decks have scenic cards in the minor arcana. Our two decks don't have that. They have what they call pips. They're like playing cards, nearly. It's just the figures and the number of figures. Like if you have the Two of Swords, contains just two swords, and that's it. And and that leaves space for freedom. You can read more freely with these cards because they don't push you in a certain direction. There are cards that leave very, very little room for improvement. For instance, I always do the Six of Cups, which is a few people in a boat. To us, we never talk about the journey over water with that card. Do you?
Never. Never.
No. And so that these are totally different things there. Yeah. If we think of our decks, if there were people, what would the deck be? Shall I go first? I have a bit of an advantage. Yeah. my Thoth deck is more or less, I would say, an occult magician or an occult professor, a ceremonial magician, a visionary, an alchemist, a philosopher, and it's an intense personality. Yeah.
I think that the Thoth would also be an educator of opening your mind. So it's not a closed book. It has so much to offer. So that's why I've come to love it. Just like Marseille, they're both very open books.
Yeah.
And there's so much more you can do with them.
Yeah. And Marseille, of course, is then compared to the Thoth, would you say more ancient?
Definitely.
It's an older system. It's probably one of the oldest systems in the world, with the Sforza decks from Italy. And if my Marseille deck would be a person, I would say it's a mystic, a medieval mystic, or a monk, or a pilgrim.
Yes. Definitely a traveler. Yes.
Yeah, traveler. I think the magicians are a bit different, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if I take the magicians from both decks, we have the occult magician, the would you say, the jack of all trades, the one who can do it all. And here we have the trickster, the man with the magical table who does the play. Guess where the ball is, under which cup, and then tricks you into paying money for a gamble you can never win.
Of course.
These are very very different and very interesting things. So it's minimalistic, way more minimalistic, the Marseille deck, but still it contains quiet wisdom.
Definitely.
And what's your favorite Marseille deck? Do you have a few? You have one on you?
So one of my favorites at present, because it's fun and quirky. It is definitely based on Marseille, but it probably would surprise people if they haven't seen it. So people expect Marseille to be old style. Then I brought along the Squid Cake, which is by Jess Roller, and it's pink. There's a lot of pink that goes on in this deck, and I'll just show you a few of the cards.
Oh yeah.
So it's very differently illustrated in the minors. Sorry, in the majors, but the Minor Arcana has the same pattern as in a standard Marseille. The court cards have very quirky characters. So yes, sometimes when you need a bit of fun and you want to inject life with a bit of pink and colour, then I think this would be the perfect deck.
Perfect. Yeah. I brought some comparisons too. Today I brought my a restoration deck. It's the what's called the Saint Valentin. So actually the idea is that this deck is not by two makers, but is a composition of two separate decks that were both incomplete, and someone took them together in 1680, 1690, and so 17th century deck. And there's one in the British Museum, and some guy made some copies of it, and on a very traditional way made paper double glued paper cards exactly as they are in the museum. So it's a museum deck, the limited edition of only 20 decks. I have number 5. And, yeah, very lovely. Yeah. Claire, why do you think people find Marseille simpler or easier to work with?
I think they struggle with it when they first come to it. If they're used to the Rider-Waite-Smith system, they look at it and they think, oh, but it's just some sticks, the batons, it's just some swords, and they're curved. What can we talk about? Because there doesn't seem to be any imagery. But I think once you get to know it, it is actually such an open reading system. Like, for example, if you have 2 swords, I haven't got this card prepared right now, but if you have 2 swords, there's usually a lot of flowers in the card. And then if you have the 10 of swords, there's perhaps a lot of sword and not a lot of flowers going on. So it could be that you could say when you're at the 2 stage, there's room for things to grow. But once you've got to the 10, everything seems to be complete. So what do you do next? And those 2 swords that cross over, I like to think that they will sort of push open, push all the swords away, and then you can begin again. So that's how I would interpret, just for example, those 2 cards within the Marseille system.
Yeah, so if you take the sword suit, you start with 1 sword, which is an open mind or something, and then it grows, and so the mind part, or the airy part of swords, is swords connected to air in the Marseille?
It doesn't really have elements as such. Just the thoughts is what you would pertain swords to. There is no traditional esoteric symbolism to a Marseille. Just a pure Marseille reader would not equate astrology. We use numerology, the growth. So we wouldn't see any of the little symbols that you get within the Thoth Tarot. So
there's that. So the correspondences are a bit different.
Definitely.
We use a more open system which doesn't say this is this planet or this is this star sign, zodiac sign. It's way more open. I remember the original book of Ben Dove, which is one of the makers of a deck and the CBD book, isn't it?
CBD tarot,
and tarot. He called his book The Open Reading, actually.
Yeah.
That's correct. And
I've never read it, but yes, I know.
You never read it. And of course, what we I think what we both have in common is that we never work just from the keyword and the book meaning.
No.
We just work with the card in front of us, the person opposite of us, if we read for someone, and then the position of the card and the position, how it compares to the neighbors. And that's open reading, and that's what I think personally way more expensive than just work away, read the cards, and see what you see, and it gives you way more freedom, way more ideas to work with your intuition.
Definitely.
Yeah. So the simplicity, could you call it deceptive? It looks simple.
I mean, if you think back to the time when it was created, it was all woodblock printing. So, I mean, it would have been incredible to have the first decks in your hands and think about how they were made back then. And then as time went by, I mean, there are things like some decks have different colours. For example, this is the Tarot de Marseille, which is very vibrant in colours.
Yeah.
So you would not get this in a more although it's traditional style, but you wouldn't get these colours. So actually, when it comes down to being simple, yes, in pattern, but again, it's depending on the creator of the deck and how far they wanted to take it. So so it begins with a simple format and then can be expanded on.
Yeah. And when we look at Thoth, for instance, would that be more overwhelming or even easier? How do you experience that?
Yeah, I think when I realised the work that Lady Frida Harris put into the cards, they blow my mind with beauty. Absolutely beautiful. So it's like if you go to a gallery and two people stand looking at the same picture, both sets of eyes are not going to see the same thing. And that's what I love about it. It gives me goosebumps because I think, wow, look at what she did. It's incredible.
Like we said, like the difference, for instance, with the Fool already, that there's so much more going on in the Thoth, in this one, in the Thoth than in this one. Oh, well, it's also like if you look at the picture deeply, you can keep on discovering things here, like the knapsack, the little dog or cat that carries him, the walking stick that's there, the wings on the head of this one, which is so special. Where he walks, the grass, and so there's a lot going on there too.
Definitely.
Yeah, and here it's a bit more, a bit more in your face. The vibrant colors, the heavy colors and stuff. So, and so this one can, give the same idea, because all the figures here, that could be the content or in the little bag of this one.
It could definitely.
So it's there's more to it, but when you open your mind, I would say open your mind, open your intuition. Don't push yourself into a box. Throw away the box,
and sometimes
not even out of the box.
Absolutely.
Get rid of the box altogether, and then there is.
Sometimes I will, if reading for clients, I will bring both or all three systems to the table, because sometimes there might be something you miss in one deck, and because I'm used to the three systems, I'll say, hold on a moment, and then I will add the layers of the systems in the reading. It's not always, but sometimes it can work. It's like having 3 or 4 languages in your head and being not 100% fluent, but you go, oh, maybe I could translate this instead of this, and it might make more sense to the client.
Oh, that's also nice. Yeah. Well, I prefer not to look at extra or additional cards. I usually do 10-card readings. I usually cut across a lot, which is easy, and especially when I have to do back-to-back readings, it gives me good structure of time. So I know where I am in the reading, and that I know where I am time-wise. And sometimes you don't have, either for the client or for yourself, you don't have unlimited time to the reading, and then having a structure is very, very handy there. But but so I keep on going with the cards that I have in front of me, and add layers to that, and of course, then sometimes I come up with ideas from other decks, but then without touching them,
without having to show it.
Yeah. So what do you think the big watershed moment was when more or less the modern decks followed up in the Tarot de Marseille?
Well, I think in terms of modern, you could probably say that Ataya and Worth were the forerunners of. So it wasn't the RWS deck or the Thoth deck. So it came before then in the 1700s. And I think that when Ataya, in fact, I have that deck available just to my right, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So Ataya, the Egyptian Gypsies Tarot, it's known as. So this takes, I'm just going to try and find. So again, I'm picking all the swords this evening. I'll pick a sword and a discs. And on it you have keywords, so it's sort of reversible.
I see that. Yeah. The keywords are upside down too. So if the card comes either one way or the other, it makes a difference. Yeah, like you work with reversals in your normal reading. Some people do, some people don't.
But the major arcana in this deck are absolutely not what you would recognize from any other system. I can't remember the full order, but it's like the creation of the world. So it is totally different. So whatever you expect, say the moon to be at position number 18, it would be further on in the system, which is...
And then some, there are more cards in an Ataya deck too, isn't it?
No, it's a standard.
Oh, 78, okay. Yeah,
standard 78.
I know there are decks with over 100 cards in them.
That's the...
Solabusca, is it?
The Solabusca. There's a modern one called the Occult Tarot. And then... Oh, I forget the other name, sorry.
That doesn't matter.
But I'm just going to try and find. So the Magician in this deck, seeing as we've spoken about the Magician, comes in at position 15.
So that's different.
Very different indeed.
Yeah. So the big difference is, I think these cards are more or less the Marseille and the Thoth would be the bookends of between modern and old tarot. And the Marseille, there's a suspicion that before the Diablen, Tarot de Marseille was playing cards, or was a game?
It was a game, yes. Apparently, the Visconti Sforza was 2 families, royal families, wealthy families, and the game was created for them. And you just think, wow, so it all stemmed from this.
from a parlor game,
So there was never any divination that was not ever intended.
And so I think, personally, I think when the Golden Dawn in the 19th century, brought out their knowledge, and all the Golden Dawn members had to play work with tarot. Of course, that one was when the Occult Tarot system was already growing, and then the Golden Dawn brought in this new method, and from the Golden Dawn tradition, Book T came Rider-Waite-Smith, early 20th century, 1904, I believe. And so that's when we say goodbye to the Marseille tradition, and Arthur Edgar Waite changed some cards, and then Crowley came back with heavy occult frameworks, Qabalah, astrology, alchemy in there, Egyptian things in there. His private religion of Thelema worked through it, and when they worked on the cards, the Book of Thoth was already made. You know, the book for the cards came first, and then he got his cooperation with Frida Harris, and she brought them to life. And the first thing they did was reverse cards again, put things in good order again, wasn't it? I have them on my table.
Yeah.
These are the justice or adjustment cards. They're at number 8 here, and the strength or force and lust card, or it's also strength in the Rider-Waite-Smith. Here it's number 11, and Arthur Edgar Waite switched these numbers. Do you know why he did that?
Was it to do with the astrological placements within the Golden Dawn? I think that's why I never liked it.
Yeah, because if we look at the Chariot, that's Cancer, that's card 6. Then we have, card 7.
Yeah.
Then comes card number 8, and after Cancer comes Leo.
Yeah.
But Justice is connected to Libra. So Arthur Edgar Waite said, okay, we're going to put Leo at number 8. And then we have number 9 is the Hermit, it's Virgo. And if we then put Justice at number 11, we're in line, because then we can have Libra again on 11. So you get the sequence: Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra.
Yeah.
But that was not the original location. Probably just pushed it all back again. Pushed it all back again. And but that's so funny that the most ancient deck and the most modern system, one of the most modern systems, have this have the cards in the correct place, in the original location. Love that. What I think more is even interesting too, is we have adjustment and justice, and then we have a card called Temperance in number 14. And in the Thoth we also have a card number 14 that's called Art. And we also have card number 20, the Eon, and Judgment. And we have the World, and we have the Universe. So so Crowley actually didn't stick to the Marseille meaning. He changed a lot. Of them. And the most interesting thing would then be, and also and of course the names of these cards too. What you actually see in the Marseille, that justice, strength, temperance, and judgment, they are related to virtues. And Crowley thought virtues, that's way too Roman Catholic, way too Christian, way to the Christian virtues. And he was an occultist, and he said, okay, we're going to change these names. We call justice, adjustment, strength, lust, temperance, called art or alchemy, is a very alchemical card. Justice, a new eon, a new era. And then the world was not enough for Mr. Crowley. He went for the universe. So there's some interesting changes, interesting alterations that he made to
Yeah.
to make his deck probably more interesting as as one. So yeah, we could say the Marseille meaning emerges through simple imagery, and
Mhm.
it also meaning emerges from layers. The cards in the toss, as you can see here, they're more layered. They're more complex, more modern, geometric. Sometimes even, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot to
sacred
see.
geometry. A lot going on there.
A lot to see.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have your Hierophant of the Thoth close at hand?
I haven't here, yeah.
So I think this was something that really changed my view of
Yeah.
a card that can be seen as religious in the Marseille deck, but in the Thoth deck, I came to understand it to be either as a teacher or being like I'm the teacher or I'm being taught,
But
more
yeah, sorry.
religious structure. And I think that was so wonderful when I
Yeah,
saw that picture.
and of course in the Marseille we don't know the Hierophant.
No.
We have the Pope.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Pope. Yeah. So
I'm just using the Tarot Classic, which renames it.
yeah. And in between we also have had an interesting one from the Bora and the North French and Flemish, Belgian. They call the Pope Bacchus.
Bacchus,
So
yeah.
the god of wine and
I love
drinks.
that.
The alcohol god. Yeah, love it. Love that. The Pope said, I don't want to be in the tarot. Okay, we'll call you after the god of alcohol.
Yeah. And then in the 1JJ Swiss, it's Juno and Jupiter
Juno, Jupiter.
who replace. And so there have been changes over the centuries, which
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
But funny that once you had worked with these two decks, how close they are, while they're the furthest apart, And I think Crowley really set the stage for something new, but inspired by the ancient decks, and that's what makes the working with these two systems so interesting, because they seem to be further apart than ever, and they're not.
No. I think one of the biggest differences, though, with Thoth is even though it's pips, it has the titles on it. Excuse me, please.
So the pips. Yeah, if we look at the Thoth, the pips have, as you can see, titles on it. The Two of Swords is called Peace, and for instance, the Ten of Swords is called Ruin, and peace and ruin couldn't be far further apart. And in the Thoth system, from card to card, you have peace and then truth and defeat and science and futility and treason and betrayal, interference, freeing up your thought processes, cruelty, ruin. These cards are, as you can see, they contain just swords, colors, shapes. The swords are in different shapes, and they represent, in my view, the journey through the ego from the clarity of the ace till the complete dark night of the soul in the 10. Hey, there you are again. Hello. Yeah. So the swords in the Thoth represent the journey of the mind from clarity to the dark night of the soul, which is totally different in the Marseille, for instance. if you look at the Ace of Swords, would it be a similar meaning for you, or totally different?
For me, across the board on Marseille, it's always about new beginnings. Aces are always new beginnings.
Yeah, so that's the same here. Yeah.
So yeah.
Then the 2.
Choices. That's what
Choices.
choices.
Yeah. So we're starting on a journey.
Yeah.
And then the 3.
Creativity.
Creating something. Yeah. And we get fuller and fuller with the 4 of Swords.
Yeah. Stability.
4 legs under a table makes complete sense.
Stability.
And so stability, and then would swords be the mind as well, or would you
Of the thoughts.
That's how the mind and the thought. So that's comparable to how we work in the thought. So that's where the similarities rise. Yeah. And the 5.
Challenges,
thresholds.
Challenge. Something that it's in between the 1, it's in between the 10. So sometimes things can happen in the middle of life, midlife. The things
midlife
that
crisis. Been there, done that.
Going from being a young child, adolescent, teen into after teen years. So the challenges that we face as we develop from a child into an adult, that's
and that's actually in all the decks. So the 5s are thresholds. And then the 6.
The 6, I would perhaps say, I don't know what the word is I'd use for 6. No, it's gone out of my head.
It's positive, isn't it? 6s.
It is, yeah. So it's after you've come through the challenge.
After the challenge, the openness comes, and then and there you have also the connection with the 6s. With if you make a Kabbalistic thing, I would say the 6s are in the Qabalah are the sun, and the sun is positive.
Definitely positive.
Yeah. So here we have. The rational mind and the understanding in the 6s. And then the 7. Ooh.
7 is sort of a contemplation stage, perhaps. Where do you want this journey to really go? So you're contemplating.
Where do we go from here?
Where do you go?
Okay. And that's in the mind then. Yeah. And the 8.
The 8. Again, I'm struggling for my words this evening. So the 8, after the contemplation, it's the work that you put in. So it's the doing.
The doing,
doing.
And it gets fuller now, huh?
It does. So before the completion, after the doing, it could be that stage of you've done too much and maybe it's a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
You got a lot going on, and then completion and breaking free.
Yeah, you break it free again, and it's back to the 2 then, who are creating this. Yeah, like Crowley said, creating this inner peace, or creating this liberation again, and back to the Ace. Yeah. Oh, lovely.
And then if anybody out watching the channel now or in the future, if you have a Marseille deck, put all the swords down in order, so from 1 to 10, and as you look at it, I think it looks like ripples. So maybe not the deck that you have, Jan, but in I'll just show you the Tarot Classic maybe. So the Ace doesn't have a hand. I'm just trying to find it.
Not in yours, okay. Mine it has,
Yeah, so if you put them all down, it looks like, if you drop a pebble or a stone in water and all the ripples that go out. So it sort of has that feeling to it.
Oh, I mean, a bit like. Oh yeah, I can see it now. I've done a few of them.
Yeah.
it's rippling out.
Yeah.
And the ripples get wider and wider and fuller. Yeah. Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's really opening up yourself to this idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very. Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh wow. And then with the wands or the batons, that sort of reminds me. So if we did the element of fire, although that's not traditional to the Marseille, you have one, and then when you build a fire, anybody who has built it in the outdoors or for a wood burning stove, you build your kindling. So I imagine the batons to be on top of each other, gaining
Just
pace.
like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like building wigwams.
Yeah.
A tent
Yeah.
with your cards. Okay, yeah.
The
If
structure.
you build it properly, if you build the structure properly, it
Yeah.
will inevitably burn nicely.
Yeah.
when you put your ace underneath.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's totally different than what the Thoth will do with the words and
Yeah.
and that's of course the big difference that in the Thoth we have these Golden Dawn keywords. Yeah, the Lord of, as the cards are called, and so you have in the ones you have the Lord of Dominion and the Lord of Virtue, and like you say, you can't use these as
Yeah.
for building a fire. They're too unstructured. Not all of them, but yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the 8 again. So there's these circles and the 9, messy. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So we have the thoughts. We have the named cards. While in the Marseille, so even this old deck that I have doesn't even have. Yeah, it has the numbers on the sides. And the swords, they're not on top, and they're not the Roman numbers, because in the Thoth we have the Roman numbers on the majors, and here we have the Roman numbers everywhere in the Marseille. Yeah, and so the symbolism is different. It's way denser, and the astrology, the decans and stuff, didn't exist when Marseille was created. So you can, I think, as an open reader, you can feel free to add them in.
Absolutely.
If they're in your vocabulary. So that's why probably you like to add in a thought system to free up your reading even more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I use that a lot when I'm working in my Thoth Thursday on the show. I always say, don't stick just to the meaning, but look at even what's in the card. There's more than just what is said in the book. The book meaning can go overboard, and sometimes you can invent stuff or find stuff in a card that's not in any book.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I found, for instance, in the Thoth Moon, also an interesting one, because in the Thoth Moon we have, let me see if it's in the middle, we have these little figures here, which are the nails, as they call them, they're also in the Marseille, I think, and there are also figures like that in the Moon of the Rider-Waite-Smith. And in the Thoth there are 9.
Oh.
And they're nails. And the nails is the character of the Hermit, card number 9. So if I see 9 nails in this card, and I see card number 9 representing the nail, all at once I see a connection.
Yeah.
And I've looked it up. I've did research on the internet, and all my books And it looks like I'm the first one who noticed this.
Yeah, you discovered it.
I discovered something like 80 years after the deck was built, or even more, like 85 years after the deck.
Yeah.
I found a novelty. I found a connection, and that's what I love about my Thoth decks. That, for instance, when I have the King of Cups, or the Knight of Cups, and all of a sudden, I have next to it the Ace of Cups, and then I say, "Oh, look, the Knight holds the Ace in his hand."
Yeah.
You see, that kind of stuff, or the connection between the 2 and the 5 of Cups. 5 of Cups, the disappointment comes from the knowledge that the 3 cups below, they are empty. 2 cups above, they are invisible, so they contain a secret.
Yeah.
And then we have the 2 of Cups here. And what do they contain? They contain love. They contain the 5th element.
Yeah. And you know, that's something that you can do with the Thoth deck, is to put cards one above the other, and you get something so very different. And that's not something I can do with the Marseille. It just doesn't seem to do the same thing. Yeah.
The sun and the moon, but behind the horizon, the sun comes up. So the sun comes back in the moon card.
Yeah. It's fabulous.
And that's what you don't see in that's a depth that hasn't been built in our Marseille decks. No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Although it's good too, you know, it's they're just two different stories. They're two different ways of working, different philosophies. Or the Marseille deck wasn't even built with this philosophy of divination in mind. That was something that was discovered way later, that you could do that.
Although there was a study that Hebrew might be hidden in the mages of the Marseille, and I found that very fascinating. Because we just don't know, but
like I found the nails in the moon card. There could be stuff hidden there, and shapes, and I'm totally on board with that too. And in all honesty, cards and symbology has always been used for divination. You know, we had the Irish own characters, the Nordic runes, but do you know do you know lithomancy?
Oh, I don't think I've heard of that.
No, that's that you just collect, for instance, 22 or 24 pebbles on a beach, different colors and different sizes, and so that it's something completely created by yourself. You put meaning to them. You could even maybe even mark them, but you don't necessarily have to. You can just use the pebbles, throw them, and then see what you see. It's a bit like tea leaf reading. So if you can use tea leaves, or you can use ground coffee, or you can use stones, why shouldn't you just use cards? And of course, when we take that a bit further, the bridge between tarot and the other system of cartomancy is actually the Tarot de Marseille. And cartomancy would be using playing cards for divination. The regular 52 piece deck of playing cards, and you can easily work with that. Especially when you've worked with the Marseille. There's not much more. You missed the trumps, but for simpler readings, you could still do it.
Definitely. And then you use elements like black, black, or red, and then that gives you the outcome of if something's positive or negative.
Numbers. The numbers are way more. Then the numbers become way more important, of course. And the shapes. I know something that you invented, so I'm going to give you credit for that. It's in this card.
The hourglass.
The sand clock. The shape. So the U-turn. I remember that one. So we're both inventors. Did you get it? Did you create this yourself? The U-turn idea of this one?
Well, yes. This was a reading where I had the Eight of Cups from the Druidcraft Tarot.
Oh yeah.
And I said, just let me get I think I was using the Tarot Classic at the time.
Okay.
And when I pulled it out, I was like, oh, so you're walking away from something in time. How long will this be? Because this looks like an hourglass. So how long, when you turn it, how long have you got to wait until you walk away?
Yeah.
I didn't realize at the time, but that's what the client was going to do.
And the hourglass shape stays the same, whatever position you have the card in. So
So that was very wow. Just one of those moments.
Wow moments. Yeah. And sometimes these meanings, they stick. I use that actually a lot. For instance, when you give someone the advice to look for a different job, they say, but what then? I say, well, you might always, if you do something different and it doesn't stick, you can always return.
Of course.
and that's the Eight of Cups too.
Yeah, free will, free choice. So whatever we read, it is in that moment, and
it is, and in that moment the meaning comes out, and it's not structured, it's not fixed, it's open, it's lovely.
Hello, David.
Is David there?
David's there.
Oh yeah, David's in the chat. Hello, David.
It's fascinating, he says.
Yeah. What do we have? Do you think that giving the cards titles, as in the Thoth deck, does it help or does it limit the interpretation?
Oh, that's a very good question. I like, in some aspects, that you have the titles. I have another example of a Thoth-inspired deck called the Sun and the Moon Tarot. And it's very gentle. The cards, the characters don't have faces.
Oh yeah.
But it still has the titles like Thoth. And I find this very gentle, and I do like the titles. In the regular Thoth, sometimes it can be, oh, well, this says ruin. Let me tell you that, what do I say? And sometimes you just have to take a moment to look at the cards, or, absolutely. So I just
I'm starting in business. This card comes up. What do you think of it?
But if you don't plant correctly your seeds now, then you're going to set yourself up for a failure.
For failure, exactly.
Yeah, it will. But it's still that,
But I always say from a keyword, every journey starts with a first step. Every story starts with one word.
Absolutely.
So don't say the keyword on the card is the be all and do all. No, it's a bit of an anchor. It's the first word of your story.
Yeah.
Okay, like you said, don't set yourself up for failure. Plant your seeds differently. Yeah. And for instance, in the Ten of Swords, I often bring up the idea that the card is called Ruin, but it also means it's the end of it.
Yes.
It's the end of a story. It's a 10, and I see the line in the middle as a threshold between the past and the future. Say, okay, you're now at the bottom of the pit, but the only way is up.
Absolutely.
That's how you use these words, not as the end, but as the beginning of the explanation of this card. And from that first word, especially when you already had other cards contributing to a total story, that a reading is not just 10 individual cards that are read just in a random sequence. No, it's always this happens, and then boom, and then from ruin at the bottom of the pit, you find love.
Yeah.
You see, so it's a development. Yeah,
It is. Yeah.
and yeah, I'm not reading much with Tarot de Marseille. I occasionally blend it in. I always have a Marseille deck on me for especially when a client asks it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that can work magic. How do you do that? Do you also weave stories with your
Yeah.
with your cards? Yeah, but then totally different stories than with the Thoth deck, probably.
Yeah. I think that so one of my favorite spreads is the tableau spread. So 9 cards. You've got 3
3 by
rows,
3 tableau.
3
Yeah.
columns,
Yeah.
corners to corners. So you can do. There's so much you can do. So depending on the deck, but depending on the spread as well as to what information you're getting and how you tell the story. Definitely.
Yeah, I love a tableau is like you have 3 cards and so it's 9 cards altogether, 3 times 3 cards, and you just don't read 3 stories, but you'll read the vertical lines and the diagonals, and of course there's something in the middle which is
at the heart
the heart of the matter. Yeah. I'm working with it. I'm studying at the moment tableau readings, and I'm very interested in the 21 and 24 tableaus.
I've not
8
seen
times
that.
3 or
Right.
7 times 3 or 6 times 4. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you have to start somewhere. Yeah. So what more do we have here? Yeah. So the Marseille feels older, feels more ancient. Thoth more cosmic, weird, magic, alchemical. Say human.
I don't know. I might disagree on that one. Ever so slightly.
It says it's human with a question mark.
Yeah.
Is it human or is it more superhuman or are they both superhumans? You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are. And look, the archetypes, especially in the thrums, which they in the Major Arcana, which the Italians. That's why it comes from triumph. Yeah, like it's a parade.
Yes.
The Major Arcana, especially in the Marseille, is a parade of things medieval that would walk through the street, and there would be like St. Patrick's Day or 4th of July or whatever parade is there in the Morris dancers or whatever, a parade or a Halloween parade.
Yeah.
And that's way. I think it's a bit more in the Marseille deck, the parade idea, especially because the limitation of color. It's more connected, more oneness in there.
Yeah.
There's probably 1, 2, maybe 6, 7 colors used, and that's it through the whole deck.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you go for something pink.
Yeah, or like modern decks that would go all overboard. Yeah. I have a Spanish deck. It's called Corazon de Druid. It's the Druid's heart, and that's very colorful too. But it's a Marseille deck. It's a pip deck. It's a Marseille pip deck. But it's way more colorful. So it's not pure. It's a Marseille style deck. Yeah. And the deck that you showed with the colored backgrounds, it's a modern iteration too, of course.
Yeah.
Could you give some examples of how Marseille made you feel powerful, or you had a powerful reading, or maybe from both texts? Could you share something?
I think it's powerful because I get to make an interpretation based on what I'm seeing, and when you give that to the client and they go, yes, you've connected, you've done it, you've provided, and you can sit back and go, wow.
Can you share a story without mentioning names, of course? Something that happened? An example?
Perhaps not right at this moment. Sorry, Jan.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. I had an interesting one recently where I had the King of Cups and the Queen. The Queen was the heart of the matter, and the King came from the past. So I said this King or Knight could represent your late husband, and in the middle of them was or you're not the late husband, your ex-husband. I didn't know whether she was. I didn't know if she was divorced or not. But like an ex-husband, an ex-husband that's no longer there, and but there was an Ace of Cups in the middle, and what connects you together is a child.
Oh.
And the lady was sitting there with her sister, and the sister was yes. And I had another knight on below the Queen in the middle, and said, and this is the new husband, and he's fresh. Yes, he's fresh. And that's you can't make that up when you see a queen and then two knights next to them. But the knight she had a king with, she had a child with, was her ex, and that it shows up in the reading, and you can't do nothing. You can't unsee it once you see it, and especially when I love when that works out like that,
Definitely.
Or or the Hierophant and the Chariot for a car driving instructor.
That's a good
The
one.
Hierophant, the teacher, and the Chariot.
The driver.
The driver or the ride. Yeah. So driving instructor. Yeah. These things happen. Yeah. And that's what. And that's what especially this last example came up in the Tarot de Marseille reading. Actually. Yeah. Bless you. Do you think that if you work with a certain deck or just with tarot in general, that you keep on getting better?
Yes.
Or maybe not even better, but evolve, that there's an evolution going within you?
Definitely. From my first readings with the little white book, looking at several, little white books have keywords, not on the card, but in the book. So from my little white book going,
this card means.
Yes. And picking one word and hoping that it was the right word.
That sticks,
You suddenly, after years and years of experience, you kind of sit back and go, I want to look at the cards first. I don't want to say a word, but I want to look at the cards first. And it also gives your client time to look at the cards too. Unless you're doing an email reading, but with a face-to-face, you take a pause and then you weave your reading together, and it's like, So definitely the experience brings about more confidence with you as a reader. You don't need the little white book. You don't need a big chunky guidebook. You just need you, yourself, the cards, and the client.
My what I noticed in my own work now that I read a lot because I do these festivals, that I think about 5-6 years ago, when a client said, I don't have a question for you, just RTFC, read the fabulous cards, or read the fucking cards, whatever you want to know. That's actually by Camille Elias, which is a tarot, a Marseille teacher, of course. Yeah. She uses that, she coined that phrase. Right now, I hardly push a client for a question. And I just get one after another. Not just say what you see, and I'm
sling the cards and over it goes.
The cards and tell the story. Tell me what's going on. And of course, after a few cards, you look at the client and they're nodding or they start answering. That you're on track, and or sometimes they say you're not on track, and then
of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
happens
have
too.
I have
But then sometimes the client gives you feedback and said, I might not say it literally, but read between the lines. You forget to read between the lines sometimes, we're not all super psychics. And
No.
even though we have our intuition, we have our messages coming in. It's
Yeah.
not like I'm getting a piece of paper with this is the person opposite you, this is their name, this is their birth, date of birth, and this is their place of birth, and this is what work they did, this is how many husbands they've lost, or or this is their trials and tribulations. You get it conceptual, and from the concept you build a story, and from the story you get the feedback, and then the feedback you weave your reading together. So it's I love that process actually.
Definitely. I did a reading this week, and I'm just going to find very, very quickly the star card, unless you can find it in your
The star card. Which one do you look at? Marseille star? Yeah, I have it here.
Let's have a very quick look. See what you've got on your deck. And,
I have this is a beautiful one. Look at that.
That's beautiful. So something that I saw in terms of the structure of the 7 smaller stars, it goes 7 days a week. So do you have to make plans every day this week? So that's a kind of, if you sit back and look at what's in front of you, you can get a different kind of message other than hope, which is one of the traditional meanings.
Traditional meanings of this card, yeah.
So you've got 7 stars, 7 days of the week. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I enjoy it when something like that comes to mind and you think, oh, I wonder, have you got any plans, like a 7-day holiday? Do you need to take a break? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you look at yourself, like to finish up, would you still be more a Marseille reader, or would you call yourself a Thoth reader? If you do a reading, what do you pick? What's your primary pick?
Mostly I would probably pick Thoth, just so I can practice more with it. But I'd always go back to Marseille.
Yeah. Well, I pick Thoth all the time. Actually, all the time, unless, well, I have, for instance, I have a few escapes. I always have a Marseille and the Rider-Waite-Smith with me. The Lightseers Tarot also always with me, and I use the Tarot of the Spirit when a client specifically asks if I want to look into their ancestry, because that deck has this more personal feeling. So that's what I would do. But the tarot is just
I like to have a wild card deck, so something that perhaps nobody has a conception of in their mind, and if they've not seen tarot before, they might go, "Oh, go on, then I'll take that one." It's just, I think as a reader, we have quite a lot of choice. So it's nice to be able to, we wouldn't pick up the same book over and over again. We might have the same genre, but different authors. So go for it.
And the cards come in different sequences, so there's a different story there all the time. Okay. A living conversation between the symbols. Claire, that was lovely. Thank you for stepping in, and I really enjoyed that you were here, that we could talk about this this combination that I love dearly too. I love to study